footage just surfaced about the case involving Lil Baby, and we might be seeing Baby and the whole 4PF crew confessing to all kinds of charges in 90 days or less.
Georgia Public Defender's Office says that they're preparing for a 4PF RICO that will ultimately see Lil Baby being indicted. The Public Defender's Office has spoken out and said that they expect 4PF RICO.
It ain't looking good for Lil Baby. Lil Baby's ops, the Goodfellas, are in the process of being officially indicted for a RICO. And this whole thing started with the tragic deaths of two 13-year-olds, Layman Freeman and Jacody Davis. These kids were caught up in a wild situation when the Goodfellas tried to spin the block on 4PF. You've probably heard bits of this before, but we're setting the stage to get to the real bombshell that dropped today. It's wild. Here's where it gets crazy. Atlanta PD is blaming Lil Baby for the deaths of those two kids, saying his reckless actions led to their tragic deaths.
Acts, cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been.
The only person who filmed a music video in the Goodfellas territory is Lil Baby. The video shoot ended up getting shot up, 2 people got hurt, and that's when Lil Baby and 4PF allegedly spun back and shot and took out a Goodfellas affiliate named Trevante Turner. Then, the Goodfellas came back after them, shooting up the block and tragically taking the lives of 2 13-year-olds. So yeah, the cops are putting the blame squarely on Lil Baby for all this chaos. The Goodfellas have already been rounded up and locked up for the murder of those 2 young boys. But here's the thing. When the police know what your enemies did to you, they also know what you did to them. And it's rare for the police to hit your ops with a RICO and not come for you too. We've seen it with YSL, YFN, and more. If your crew gets hit with a RICO, it's only a matter of time before they come for you as well. Now, Goodfellas is going through the court process, but Lil Baby's beef with them just took a huge turn. Today in court, wiretaps were played, and one of them mentioned Lil Baby putting bags on people's heads.
They had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones had wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
Now, the police report from the of Trevante Turner actually listed 4PF as a criminal gang. They even called Lil Baby the gang leader of 4PF. That's a big deal because when the cops start calling out isolated incidents, especially involving gangs, it's a clear sign they're building a bigger case, and it goes deeper. Lil Baby and his crew, 4PF, were already on the radar before this. Take 4PF Nate, for example. He got 40 years from and during the trial, they tacked on gang charges to tie to 4PF. They used Keontae Davis to identify Nate as the shooter and tied the whole thing to the gang, making sure to put it on record that this was all done for 4PF. Now with wiretaps, multiple tied to 4PF, and even the Public Defender's Office confirming a 4PF RICO, things are looking messy. So here's where things really start to unfold. Sean Hoover, who heads the Georgia Public Defender's Council's specialized unit for gang cases, just dropped a major bombshell. The Public Defender's Office is preparing for a racketeering indictment on 4PF and OMF. Hoover's not just talking about the cases, he's expecting Lil Baby to be named in the indictment too. And if we've already heard Lil Baby putting bags on people's heads, well, these people probably have a strong case in front of them. The key here is that the police have connected 2 murders to 4PF and labeled them as gang activity on purpose. Keontae Davis identified 4PF Nate as the shooter and tied 4PF to the gang, has some serious connections to this whole mess. Just a couple of days ago, he was murked.
New this morning, Atlanta police say they are investigating a homicide that happened overnight less than a mile away on Lakewood Avenue. Our crew saw police overnight collecting evidence on that scene. We are still working to learn exactly what happened and get more information about this scene. We'll bring you those updates as soon as we get them and give them to you on 11alive.com.
Now, this could have come from anyone. It might be from Goodfellas, revenge for the Trevante Turner, or it could have been retaliation from 4PF for Keontae snitching on Nate. Either way, this situation is getting uglier by the day. The whole point of this ongoing beef is that these are only speeding up the process for everyone involved to get hit with a RICO. Atlanta PD is over this constant cycle of violence. And here's the thing. They're just waiting to tie every shooting, every death, every incident to the bigger gang picture. The more that happen, the faster the RICO comes. You can't keep going down this road when you know the cops are watching and building a case against you. So if Lil Baby is tied to this mess, Keontae Davis's death might just be the final straw. Let's talk about the ripple effects this could have on the music game, 4PF's future, and some of the wild scenarios that could pop up if Lil Baby faces RICO charges. First up, we can't forget the YSL situation with Young Thug and Gunna. That whole drama really set the stage for what we're seeing now. If Baby gets hit with charges, you can bet the YSL case will be the blueprint for how the feds come after high-profile artists linked to organized crime. They've shown they're not playing when it comes to going after people in the rap game, especially if they're connected to gangs. This could mean more artists get caught up in this mess, and the music industry might have to start thinking differently about how they deal with people involved in these types of situations. Speaking of the industry, don't be surprised if we start seeing labels and other artists distancing themselves from anyone even remotely tied to gang activity. The last thing they want is to get dragged into a RICO case. Some might even push for legal reforms, trying to find ways to protect artists from these broad interpretations of the law. So if the feds are watching and putting charges on the table, the game might change in a big way. Now, when it comes to 4PF, we all know Lil Baby tried to move away from that whole image in 2023 by dissolving the label and rebranding it as Glass Window Entertainment. But let's be real, no matter how much he tries to rebrand, the past still follows him. The ties to 4PF's street activity might still come back to haunt him if those RICO charges hit. Some might see the rebrand as an attempt to distance himself from the past, but it might not be enough to fully protect him from the legal fallout. The legacy of 4PF, with all its connections to gang violence, could continue to impact Lil Baby's career, whether he likes it or not. Fans and critics are going to scrutinize his every move and wonder if he's really out of the game or if he's just cleaning up his image. If a RICO indictment actually happens, this could turn into a huge public spectacle. Imagine a high-profile trial where former associates or rivals start spilling the tea on the connections between the music industry and organized crime. The line between artistic expression and real-life gang activity would get blurred, and it'd be a mess. This could open up a whole new can of worms, with deeper connections being exposed than anyone imagined. And then, of course, there's the impact on Lil Baby's career. If he gets convicted, it could be the end of his music career as we know it. We're talking about a potential hiatus, or even outright retirement. His reputation as a philanthropist and community leader in Atlanta could be completely overshadowed by the legal drama. People would start questioning whether he's really about giving back or just another artist caught up in a scandal. That could have a major effect on his ability to continue his community work, especially if he's facing serious legal battles. The public's perception of Lil Baby would also be on the line. Some fans will probably rally behind him, seeing the charges as a setup or just another way for the system to take down a successful black artist. But there are definitely going to be others who feel like he's betrayed the very community he said he was helping. This could split his fan base and bring even more scrutiny from the media and law enforcement. It's about to get real interesting to see how all of this plays out. What do you guys think? Is the RICO coming for Lil Baby fair? Is he responsible for what his crew does? Let us know what you think in the comments.